Alright everyone, we're sitting down with Mr. Stephen Kinkaid, also known as Skin on the Streets.
1997 to 2000 in Glengormley High School. I always forget about that. And then 2000 to 2007 in Carrick Grammar. And then I moved down to Carrick College in 2017 for 4 years. And I got a U in my chemistry.
Wow.
So I'd wanted to go to Queen's to do computer science, and obviously you needed like 3 Bs to get into Queen's. So they just rejected me outright.
Do you think teaching the current system is out of date?
Yeah. So I rented a reseller account with a company in England.
Right.
And I got all the kids a domain name in the computer club.
This is class.
And they put their were all like HTML websites with tables, but they put their websites online. So they were able to go home and with their internet connection at home, probably dial up at the time or very slow broadband, were able to view their work.
Wow.
That was the start of it. Then I thought, you know what, I could actually sell this. I was crazy. There was days I didn't even leave the house.
Because you were just that busy?
I agreed to step back completely from Cobalt.
Yeah.
Because it just was a headache and we were going to lose clients over it. It's a cash flow game.
Yeah.
You're playing the cash flow game. You know yourself are running. It's a cash flow game. You know, who am I going to pay today?
Yep.
Who am I going to pay tomorrow? Who's going to leave the next month? You know?
Yeah.
And obviously your servers are paid first. Now, like, there was no danger of the business going under.
Big Wet Fish company director had, what was it, Cobalt? You had Cobalt for a while.
Cobalt Web Design. It's still going strong, but I just don't own it anymore. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Was a teacher from the years
2000 to 2007 in Carrick Grammar. Actually, 1997 to 2000 in Glengormley High School. I always forget about that. And then 2000 to 2007 in Carrick Grammar. And then I moved down to Carrick College in 2017 for 4 years. And then I left, but we'll talk about that later, I guess, as well.
Yeah. So Stephen was a teacher and he's now an entrepreneur and he employs a multitude of staff. I don't know the exact number. Is it 8?
There'd be 10 of us now.
10 is now.
10 of us, plus there's 4 staff work remotely as well, 4 from India.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that as well, because that's an experience. So yeah.
So essentially, he's went from a normal job to kind of picking up the tools and starting his own business. And we're going to kind of jump in the beginning of his journey and how he got into teaching. So Stephen,
anyone who knew me like at the school, I was a bit of a bluffer, and I still am a bluffer. But you know what? I get away with it every day, so it's great.
So were you in school, and from school you decided I want to be a teacher when you went to university? Was that the plan?
Do you know what? I didn't know what I wanted to do. Honestly, I was clueless. I went to university, so I did well in my GCSEs, right? Class in my GCSEs. Then A levels, I was a complete waster. I didn't do any revision, didn't do any work,
right.
And I ended up getting a B in my computing. I got an E in my maths.
Oh, right.
And I got a U in my chemistry.
Wow.
So I'd wanted to go to Queen's to do computer science, and obviously you needed like 3 Bs to get into Queen's. So they just rejected me outright, and the careers teacher at the time was a maths teacher, like a lovely lady. She taught me maths. Obviously maybe I didn't study, but she did try to teach me maths, and she said, you'll never get into Queen's, you got to go to Portsmouth Polytechnic, because I'm that old that polytechnics were still a thing. Right. So I said, I don't want to go to Portsmouth, I want to go to Queen's.
So,
said,
sorry, what is it? Just so people know, because I have no idea. What's a polytechnic?
So the University of Ulster used to be a polytechnic before it became a university. Right. Yeah, I'm showing my age here. This is really bad. So I wanted to go to Queen's, so I phoned Queen's. Right. And I begged them to let me in. And they said, no, you'll never get in, but you could do a foundation year. Right. Which was called level 0 back then. Right. So they let me in, and I proved them wrong. I proved them that I was able to study and that I was actually more intelligent than my results showed. Yeah. And I just did an extra year at uni, but you know what? It's better than repeating A levels, isn't it? So
you done the foundation so that you could enter your degree. Yes. So 1 year foundation to go into the degree. Yes. And during that foundation, do you have to redo your maths and stuff like that, or did that not matter?
I had to do maths at university.
Yeah.
Yes, which I struggled with, but I passed it. You just had to get 40%, and I just scraped it, so it's all good.
Was this when you were 18 then?
Yeah, 18, 19, yeah.
Yeah, 18, 19. And you went then done the foundation, done 3 years, would it have been?
No, foundation was 1 year and then 3 years for the degree.
Yeah, so 1 year foundation, 3 years for the degree, and then...
I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I applied for teacher training and was rejected.
Oh, yes, I was
rejected, right? Wow. I was rejected. So you needed a good honours degree to be a teacher. Right. And a good honours degree is a 2-2 level, a 2-1 or a first class. Yeah. And I was and still am a bit of a bluffer. I ended up with a 2-2.
Right.
So it still was a good honours degree, but it was like...
No, it wasn't a 2-1.
It wasn't a 2-1, or it wasn't a first, you know.
Yeah.
So I was on a waiting list. So I'd applied then for a thing called Premier Graduate Management Development Program.
Right.
And I got accepted on that for a year to become like, they would have placed people in like Marks and Spencer's and places like that as trainee managers. And the day before I was due to start that course, I got a phone call from Queen's to say somebody had dropped out of the PGC and they were offering me a place.
Whoa.
So I just scraped into teacher training by the skin of my teeth. So did a year, loved it actually. And then that was in 2000, I was 1996 and 1997. And then I got a job in Glengormley High School then. So
you essentially I
scraped by the skin of my teeth like through.
By fate. Almost, wasn't it? That someone had dropped out and it was like you got your chance. And
Yeah. No, it was great. I don't believe in fate. I believe it's all planned. Like, but do you know what? It's all good. That's
crazy.
So,
and the fact that obviously going to school, you look at your teachers and you don't realize that maybe they did have them ups and downs. The fact that you had a U and an E and you went on to be a teacher is like, to me as a student at one time, you would go, no way, no chance. And
no, that's it. Like, there's always a way through. That's what I say to people. Like, see when people get A-level results, like, I was gutted. I got my A-level results, I was gutted. And, like, I thought the world was ending. Like, really did. And I thought, you know, what am I going to do in my life? I'm going to end up in Portsmouth. And what do I know about Portsmouth? Like, it's in England somewhere, you know? So, I was a bit of a home bird, like, so I just thought, you know, but there's always a way through. You know, that's what I say to people. Like, people do A-levels and think their world's going to end, or people fail their 11 plus or whatever it's called these days and think their world's going to end, or people don't do so well in their GCSEs and don't get back to their school and have to go to NRC or somewhere. Do you know what? It's not the end of the world. You know,
I totally agree.
Do you know, you'll get through it in the end, and you mightn't just get through it the way that you think or you had planned, but there's always a way, you know.
See,
like, you know,
going on about that, and in today's society, I feel like it's less and less about the qualifications you have and more about the work experience. Like, what's this person done? Like, what's their hobbies? You know, if you were to hire someone, would you be looking directly at their qualifications?
No, you see for like I said to someone, I had a lady in from Rutledge, from the high street in Carrick there the other day. Yeah. They're looking to put some apprentices in local businesses. So they want, like, they've got 16-year-old school leavers who they want to give some work experience to, and they've got 18 to 24-year-olds who are looking to do apprenticeships. I said to her, look, we don't need GCSE maths. We don't need GCSE English. You know, from our perspective, if you're an IT geek or if you're interested in IT, we can train you in what we need you to do. Yep. Now, the thing is, you have to be able to string a sentence together, you know, because clients come on live chat, clients open emails with support tickets, and you can't be replying in broken
slang.
English or, like, you know, use Y-O-U-S or U-S-E or, you know, just wrong slang, you know, that people tend to use in their day-to-day language. So, you know, as long as you can write proper English, I don't care if you've got a U in English. Yeah. You know, as long as you can put a decent sentence together, you know, hi there, thanks for reaching out. I can confirm there was an error on your website and I've just fixed it. Here's what I did to fix it. Boom, 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 boom. Please test it now. Let me know if you need anything else.
I mean, I totally agree. You know, and even I have a friend who went and done a history degree. So they went to university, done a history degree, which some people would say is almost a Mickey Mouse degree, not to fire shots, because there isn't many jobs at the end of a history degree that you can jump into. So he went and done his history degree, finished, same as yourself, finished, and went, what the heck do I do here? Like, there's not really anywhere that's taken history graduates. So he ended up going into IT. He went into cybersecurity.
Right, nice. Good field to be in these days.
Yeah, it is a good field to be in these days. He's doing very well. But he started off, I can't remember, I think it was PwC. Started off PwC, entry-level job with his history degree. Nothing to do with history, IT. And they didn't care about that. They wanted someone who had common knowledge, who was able to be taught, and he was taught the ins and outs of some different softwares in PwC. And now from that, 5 years later, he's climbed the corporate ladder massively. He's went from like 24 grand up to 70 grand a year.
What I will say though is English and maths is important. So please don't let me think I didn't say it, because like there's people work for us now who are doing really well with us, But like, I think the fire service had opened there recently, and somebody couldn't apply because he didn't have a C in his maths. So like that's kind of is important that if you are 16 and don't have your maths, that just go and do it before you turn 25 and realize you have to do it.
Yeah, it's a gatekeeper though. Like GCSEs, that's what they are. They're gatekeepers for employers, and you look at them, you can quickly go, okay, if they got a C in this, or an A in this, and a B in this, you can go, okay, they've probably got common knowledge. But I myself, whenever I had locos, I had people come in who were straight A students and had no common sense. Zero common sense. So I just think that you get a good gauge for someone when you meet them.
Some of our best staff actually have come from Northern Regional College.
Right.
Off the foundation degree course there, or the level 3 course there.
Yeah.
Like Harry, who you interviewed like last week, his stepson Mark. Mark's been working for us for years. He did a level 3 at NRC. And I think like, not just in A levels, because I did A levels, but I think those more practical courses for our level 1, 2 technical support roles, you're more prepared for it, I think, than somebody with maybe straight A's A levels.
Yeah, so let's go into the teaching a little bit.
Aye.
So
that's a previous life now. It
is a previous life. It's very interesting to people, because not many people can say that they've taught kids, and you taught teenagers, which are
I loved it.
Wild, like teenagers.
But it's not
are
wild.
wild.
You see when you do an IT, right? IT's different.
Right.
Because if I wanted my head short, I'd just let them play games for 10 minutes. And you could bribe them, right? Come on, if you do this bit of work, I'll let you play games for 10 minutes or whatever,
Yeah.
I actually loved it. And like, even some of the wildest classes in Carrick College, they did my head in. They really did my head in. But like, looking back, I loved it, It was really weird to say that. And you would sometimes meet them in the town, meet kids in the town who are now like in their 20s or even 30s, and like, I'm walking through Tesco's and somebody says, "All right, Mr. Kinkaid," and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, don't call me that.
Who's that guy?
Don't call me that, But no, it was all right. It was okay. Now, I don't know, see if I was having to try to teach maths or history or geography to a class of kids.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have coped. But we had the beauty of IT was you were at a computer.
Yeah, so
it was more interesting, I think.
So you sit down at the start of the academic year, and do you basically get a curriculum sent over to you, like, right, here's what you need to teach for the next year?
Well, this is 10-year-old information, so I don't know, but yes, in theory, yes, like there is the syllabus or the specification that you had to follow.
Right.
Now, back 10 years ago, it was way out of date. Like, you're doing databases, spreadsheets, word processing, Microsoft Publisher. I don't even know what they do these days. So,
I've never heard of Microsoft Publisher.
So hopefully it's evolved a little bit, but it's, you do, and you just teach to it.
Right.
But, it was all right. Like, junior IT was all right. GCSE IT, because we actually moved to doing the BTEC in Carrick College,
right,
which was 100% coursework and no exams. And, like, all the kids got great grades, it was good.
So do you think that like, for example, with teaching, for me, being a student, obviously you were a student at one point as well. I thought a lot of the things I done in school were kind of not, I wouldn't say pointless, but I felt like it was just retain information. All you do is get taught something and you have to retain it.
Well, I've never needed to know when my job now at the Battle of Hastings was in 1066.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But I mean,
do you think teaching the current system is out of date?
Yeah, I really like. I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. Like my niece is at Newcastle University doing a medical degree, going to become a doctor.
Yeah.
For her, it's not.
It's not.
She loved it. She loved school. She was like, every time you saw her, she was coming up to visit, and she was sitting in the corner with a book, writing notes, studying. But that was her.
Yeah.
But I know so many people that school doesn't work for. The way their brains are wired, whatever, the way they just work. School doesn't work for them. So yeah, yes and no. So for a certain group of people, yes, it's amazing. For a certain group of people, no, it's too rigid. It's too down the line. It should be more vocational, but it shouldn't be the same for everyone. you know.
I totally. I mean, the current school system was made in the early 1900s. I want to say.
I think so. I don't know.
It was early 1900s. Whenever it was the boom of the industrial age, where they needed people to be semi-educated to come in and start working in factories. Mm-hmm. So we have kept that same kind of setup for over 100 years. It's the one thing in society we haven't had a full rehaul of, because no one really knows how to tackle it. But for me, if you're going in and you're teach people science, you need to know how the world works. Teach people maths, you need to know how to count. You need to know how to understand your numbers. Teach people English, like you said. When you go into a job, you need to be able to good communication skills, like whenever you're dealing with
practical maths. We had a discussion there. It was like last year, but Scotland work. You know Scott.
Yeah.
Like we'd bought something and we were trying to work out what it was ex VAT, and I'm saying, right, the price you paid includes VAT. Mm-hmm. And VAT's 20%. You got to divide by 120 and multiply by 100. And he couldn't get his head around this. And Mark was with him, I think, and couldn't get his head around this. Right. They were just taking 20% off the price. And I said, that's not how you do it. I said, because that price that you've paid is 120%. So you need to divide it by 120 and multiply by 100.
Yes.
It's just kind of, do you know what I mean?
Yes,
so
I get where you're coming from.
Like practical maths.
Yes.
Not like, I don't know, some of the maths I did, but I was never good at maths. I failed it. I got an E's, you know. So I'm not the one to ask about maths. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Do you know what? The school works for a lot of people, but it doesn't work for a significant minority of people, I would say.
I'm just coming at this in a way that I feel like, because we're going in an age of AI, obviously you're in the IT industry, it's probably something you look at and you see the advances, and you're wondering, how can I implement this? For example, just top of my head, I know that you could implement it in live chat probably in the next 2 years.
We had a client last month asked a question about their website got hacked.
Yeah.
Right? And their WordPress version was 5.1, and the latest version, I think, is 6.
Yeah, so it wasn't secure.
6.2, so it wasn't secure, right? So, but we just thought, you know what? Let's just use AI and let's ask ChatGPT to answer the questions. We said, I'm running a WordPress version 5.1.8. How do I secure my website? And it rhymed this thing off. And we literally copied and pasted into the reply, edited it, and hit send.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you know, it's scary. It's scary what it can do.
So going in the age where AI is going to become a good thing, it's going to displace a lot of jobs. Looking at the current setup that we have, school and the job system, we have to look at these things and say, how do we adapt these to a society where quick knowledge is just like that? Do you need to know something, right? How do I cook 5 recipes for a family of 3? ChatGPT. 2 minutes and you've got the answer?
But like those apprenticeships that I'm learning, I only found out about them on Friday, so I've been reading up about them. I knew they were a thing, but for us, like these guys can be working 4 days a week with us, and then 1 day a week in the tech or whatever it's called these days to get their certified qualification. And like that's amazing. So somebody can leave school at 16 who wants a career in IT, still get their qualification, or there's modern apprenticeships as well for people who have done A-levels. We had a guy actually worked for us. He actually left and moved on, but he'd done his A-levels, but hadn't gone to university. He worked for us 4 days a week, was released to Ballymena NRC 1 day a week.
Right.
And after 3 years, he would get a foundation degree, which then can lead him on to his normal degree, you know. So there's I don't know, I'm out of touch with education, but it probably needs to change for a significant minority of people. But honestly, I think it works for a lot of people too.
It works for the doctors and the solicitors
agree.
And things like that, where you really do need to know that information.
But for IT, for what we do, no, it doesn't. I mean, the IT syllabus 10 years ago was so archaic, and I'm sure it hasn't changed.
IT changes so rapidly that you go on any news site and you sit there and you scar it for the next 6 months. You're probably more educated than most people in a senior position in most companies, which is ridiculous. But it's just how fast that it moves. It's a very fast moving industry.
So I'm on a Pepsi Max now. Apologies.
That's all good. It's all good. I'm just in the. I usually have like a Monster or something, but I had one earlier, so I didn't want to overdose. I didn't want to overdose myself. So let's get into kind of the dawn of your entrepreneurial journey. You were a teacher in college at the time.
Well, no, do you know what? I was teaching in Carrick Grammar at the time,
right?
And there was we all had to do an extracurricular activity as part of our job. So like the big thing at the time was we've got 40 extra, like there's chess club, there's athletics club, there's everything going on. And I ran an IT club.
Right, okay.
And we worked after school designing the most basic websites. And I thought, this is crazy. Like, these guys are hosting these websites on the school network, but they're not online. And the internet was just becoming prevalent. Like, people were starting to get internet at home. And these websites weren't online. So I got budget. We used to sell print credits in the grammar.
Right.
And we had a bit of 100 quid in the print credit budget. So I rented a reseller account with a company in England.
Right.
And I got all the kids a domain name in the computer club.
This is class.
And they put they were awful, like HTML websites with tables, but they put their websites online. So they were able to go home and with their internet connection at home, probably dial up at the time or very slow broadband, were able to view their work.
Wow.
That was the start of it. Then I thought, you know what? I could actually sell this.
That's it. That's the light bulb went off in your head.
So I went, believe it or not, I went home and I looked at eBay back in the 1990s.
Is this whenever this was in 1990s?
Late 1990s, right? No,
okay.
It would have been 2001. 2002,
right.
2002, yeah. In 2001, 2002, people sold web hosting on eBay.
Right.
Which you don't buy web hosting. You wouldn't go on eBay to buy a website.
Not anymore.
But in 2002, you did. So I started advertising on eBay.
Right.
As EasyWeb.
That was this was the first concept.
Yeah, EasyWeb.
You've went and you've seen these kids' sites. You've bought the reseller account with the print credits, and then you went, boom.
Can I say I did buy another one out of my own money? I wasn't using Carrickfergus money to start
disclaimer.
Yeah, just in case they sue me or something. But so I went and bought another one of these, and I put an ad on eBay.
Right.
And within a week, I'd sold one account.
Wow, that was it.
And that was it. I thought, right, I was only like $2.99 a month, but that was like $2.99 a month via PayPal. So then I thought, right, let's tweak it a bit. And like within 2-3 years, I maybe had about 40 clients.
Wow.
But I was teaching at the time.
Yeah.
No time to handle these clients, coming home at night, logging in to see if anybody had any problems. So dear help you if you had a web hosting account in 2006 with me, right?
The support button there.
and if you needed a password reset at 9 a.m., you weren't getting a reply to 5 p.m., which was like awful. But people accepted that. It kind of was weird. So then once we got to about 150 clients, I rented a team in India.
Right.
To do my technical support.
Okay.
And
What year was this, by the way?
Oh my goodness. This would have been about 2008.
Oh, you were ahead of the curve there. You were ahead of the curve of outsourcing.
2008. So, but it was a shared team in India. So they worked for like 6 other companies. But they did our support tickets during 9 to 5 in very broken English. Like I would go home and have to mop up train wrecks every day.
Right.
Where they maybe misunderstood something or had done something wrong. But it was great. It was great. If you needed a password reset in 2008 and put an email at 9 o'clock, it was done by 10 a.m.
Brilliant.
It was great. So we had an Indian team and we still actually have the same guys. It's brilliant.
They're serious, some of the same guys.
Well, we moved around. So they were from a company called, don't even remember the company name, but it was a tech called Shiva and a tech called Aral. And we then moved away from the company and we went to a different company in Cochin in southwest India. And then we stayed with them for 5 years. And then Shiva and Aral started their own business. They left and started their own business in Chennai. So we moved back to them because I knew them and I trusted them.
Yeah.
And they're still with us. So So if you come on live chat now on our website at 3 a.m., you will get Aral or Shiva and they will help you out.
Awesome.
But I trust them. I've been to visit them. I know them.
Yeah.
I know they don't work in a sweatshop.
I know they're all right.
I know they're all right.
Families are fed.
And they're big into cricket. And it's, they're great guys, really. So they've been with us for years. But, so that happened. And then I moved to Carrick College and we got our first website. And then it started kicking off. And I kind of thought.
As in you were still EasyWeb, was it?
We were still EasyWeb. And then
we
changed it to Big Wet Fish.
In what year?
Oh my word! If you couldn't go way back, machine, that website where you can look back at internet history, Internet Archive. I honestly should have looked this up, but I think it was probably around 2009, 2010, maybe.
So how come you made the decision, the jump? What was the?
I didn't want EasyWeb or EasyJet to sue me, because our colors were orange and EasyJet is orange,
right?
And we were EAZIWEB.
Right, okay.
And I just thought, do you know what? This is just too
similar.
dodgy.
Yeah.
And then we also then had this crazy idea back in my naive days to run a radio advert. Now, what web hosts advertise on radio?
I don't know any.
Yeah, well, we didn't get any sales, but I spent a fortune
Right.
getting this radio advert on Capital Gold in London.
Right.
Right. And the guy that was doing the radio advert said to me, you can't call yourself EasyWeb. If somebody is driving in their car, they're not going to know how to spell it. Is it easy with a Y or an I? Or so he said you need to call it something
easy.
Easy.
Oh, well, easier.
Easier. So we were in Harry Ramsden's fish and chip shop in Leicester Square, which is now a Starbucks, by the way.
Right.
It was raining outside and the fish was big with fish.
I love it.
So that's where it came from. Simple.
Right, let's take a little 2-minute break here. We're touching there, we got to Big Wet Fish was founded, was it 2010 you said there? Potentially?
Yes, yeah, the limited company was 2013, but yeah, 2010.
So you took out this radio advert. Was this still supplementing your income? Were you still a teacher?
Yes, I was a teacher, so I kind of set in my mind, once we grow to £100 a day of revenue, I could start thinking about leaving teaching.
Right.
Because that's like £3,200 a month.
Right, okay.
You know, and I kind of thought with the expenses we had, I could potentially live on that.
Yeah.
So about 2011, we grew to that level of income.
And is that when you jumped ship?
Well, I went and spoke to the principal at the time, Headley Webb.
Right.
And I asked him, could I take a career break
for
a year? Because in teaching, like, it's a government job, it's a permanent job, it's very secure. And I didn't want to just ditch my job in case this...
You still had your toes in the pool a little bit. You're like, I don't know.
So if you take a career break, right, it saves the school money because they can maybe employ someone who's younger than you to replace you for the year or whatever. And it means that if it goes belly up, I can still come back to my permanent job with my 8 weeks off in the summer, my final salary pension scheme, and dear knows what else. You know, 2 weeks at Christmas, 2 weeks at Easter, 1 week in October kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of thought, you know, this is what I want to do. So the career break was granted for a year.
Okay, 2011.
So I left in June 2011. I walked out of Carrick College thinking, am I going to be back here? And I worked from home for a year.
Okay.
And I was crazy. There was days I didn't even leave the house.
Because you were just that busy?
No, just because it's just like, I'm single. So I just like, it's just like, and that's not good. Like all this work from home.
Yeah.
Caper, you know.
Yeah.
So after a year, it worked well. Like it did go well. You know, it did go well. Kind of had the year to sort of build up the business and try to sell stuff. Then in June 2012, I was approached by the school to say that, so it was at the time in Carrick where there were still Downshire and Carrick College.
Yeah.
And there weren't enough kids for both schools. And the schools all went in cycles. You know, so like Downshire might have had a few bad years.
Yeah.
And then would have come up again.
Okay.
And then Carrick College might have had a few bad years and would have come up again.
Yeah.
And it was at the time where Downshire, I think, had just got a new principal maybe.
Okay.
And was kind of on the up. And Carrick College principal had just changed. I don't remember, but Carrick College needed to make a redundancy.
Okay.
Yes, and they said they were looking for volunteers to quit their job.
And they came to you?
Well, I asked, and because I'd been working like for 12 years, so I knew I would get a few quid as well of redundancy payments. So I went and spoke to them and said, look, I would like to apply for a voluntary redundancy, knowing this was final, because once you take a voluntary redundancy, you're out. You know, you just can't come back. You just can't come in and suddenly get your job back. So I just made the decision, June 2012, to take a voluntary redundancy. It was granted.
Right.
And I left in June 2012 from Carrick College officially.
So was that kind of like enough of a buffer for you to feel secure in kind of, because I do feel like that when you're self-employed, you do need to have a certain number in your bank where you just don't stress.
I was very fortunate in 2012 in that there were too many student teachers coming out of teacher training,
right,
and not enough jobs. So the government had given enhanced redundancy. So I got triple redundancy package,
right,
in 2012.
Triple
redundancy package. Now, it wasn't a lot of money, like, but
this guy's lucky. You're a lucky guy.
It wasn't a lot of money. It was just perfect time, and so.
And you had no, at this time, 2012, it just took, oh my goodness, that's my daughter in the background.
It's all good. It's all good.
She's not having a good time.
His daughter's having a meltdown in the kitchen.
She's having a meltdown in the kitchen.
It's all good.
I don't know what's going on with her. So at this time, 2012, you left. You had no staff. You only had the external staff over in India.
Yes. And then I rented an office then in Belfast.
In 2012?
2012, yeah.
Because you were sick of working from
home. So it was in Cathedral Quarters, just a small 2-man office and just me in it. And then during that year, we employed Russell Crawford, who led up who heads up Cobalt now.
Yeah.
Then after the year, we gave up the office and rented Kilroot Business Park.
So Russell was the very first employee.
Yes, Russell
was. How did this
was.
come about? And that's an interesting one. How did you decide he was your first employee?
Russell did work experience when he was in year 14 in Carrick Grammar.
Yeah.
And he walked in and I said, have you any experience of Linux web servers? You have any experience of web hosting? He said, well, yeah. Actually, 5 years ago, I rented a server from blah. And I'm thinking, you're my dream employee, you know? So yes, he came in part-time and then he went to university and then still worked part-time. So it worked pretty well, you know?
So you had this office in Cathedral and he came in a few days a week or what? Or a couple days a week?
It was like Wednesday after. It was university, his first year at university. So it was Wednesday afternoons and maybe Friday afternoons.
Oh, right. Okay.
It was like a part-time job. Like some students work in Tesco's, he worked for us.
Right. Okay. I get you.
And then we moved to Kilroot in 2013.
Okay.
And that's when we had our first real employee.
Okay.
So it was. So yeah, that was our first real employee. And that was the time that I formed a limited company as well.
So that's whenever you said, this is it. It's time to go limited. It's time to start. Go big or go home, really. It's time to really take
go
this
big or home. Yeah. So like I think if you look in Companies House, BWF Hosting Limited, you have a nosy at us, you can have a nosy. But in 2013, we started up as a limited company and that was when it was for real.
Okay.
You know, when I'm running around like Jack the Lad with my business bank account and my business debit card, thinking I'm taking the world by storm, you know, no business brain on me at all.
Yeah.
Like no business brain, you know.
Yeah.
Just somebody who loved selling web hosting.
Yeah. Somebody
who loved web servers and loved doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
But just thinking this income's coming in, I'll just be like Jack the Lad. Now, if you go back, this is public information. You go back in Companies House and look at our first set of published accounts. We made a loss of £25,000 and £25,056.
So what were you spending that you were looking back? You were I was in Egypt.
I was going to America thinking I was, because our servers were there and I was just being a complete muppet, thinking we had loads of cash about and not keeping track of budgets.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the way it works, because like you pay your VAT in arrears, you always have cash in the bank. But I didn't understand any of that.
Yeah.
You know, because I was so naive when it came to business. So that was all right. It still was okay because you can you still have income coming in every day and we were growing as a company. So we still be able to keep paying all our bills, you know, even though we posted that loss. And then in what year was it? I have it on my iPad here. Yeah. 2014 or was it 2015. We applied for the East Antrim Dragons Den competition.
Shut up.
Oh, honestly, it wasn't, trust me, it wasn't anything special, but so there's a £5,000 prize fund.
Right.
And you were again pitching to these dragons, East Antrim Dragons. So I think there was Kelly from Carrick Enterprise Agency, somebody from Invest NI, somebody else from Belfast, and somebody from Newry, just these 4 random people.
Right.
And there was like 12 of us pitching our ideas.
Right.
And I won that.
Did you?
Yeah, we won that.
Wow.
So we were crowned East Antrim Dragons Den champion of 2015. That was kind of cool. Like, there's nothing like that anymore.
Yeah,
I think all the budget is dried up for that. But so we did that, and then I was losing focus because I'm thinking I'm Jack the Lad again. Because not only am I running around with this debit card,
you've just won the.
I just won East Dragons Den, and I'm the best thing since sliced bread, you know. And then if you look at our accounts in Companies House in 2015, we published a complete. We were negative. Our balance sheet was 45,767.
Right.
Now that's £45,000. I mean, and my redundancy money had ran out at this point.
Oh, right.
You know, so the whole thing's just nuts, scary. So
you were very, very thin there. You were being silly.
I was nearly going back to teaching. You know, I really was.
Yeah. Well, 2013 that was
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
It's only 8 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, 8 years ago. And in the meantime, everyone running around thinking, oh, I would meet people in the street. Oh, are you a millionaire yet? And I'm thinking,
yeah.
Do you know what? If you only knew, if you only knew.
The same with me with logos.
Do you know, if you only knew, are you a millionaire yet? Are you? But like, I'm running around pretending that everything's great.
Yeah.
Because like, we're still selling.
Yeah. You're still seeing the money come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not budgeting. So I then realized, you know what? There's no shame in asking for help.
Okay.
And people think there's a shame in asking for help.
No, there's not.
And I went to Carrick Enterprise, and I'm really grateful to Carrickfergus Enterprise.
That's 2015?
In 2015, yeah. Kelly and Alan.
Yeah.
And there was a lady who I think passed away called, was it Lorna? The three people from Carrick Enterprise, incredible. I would never say a bad word about Carrick Enterprise.
Yeah.
They assigned me a mentor.
Okay.
Ian Kerr.
Ian Kerr.
Ian's the director of Glentoran Football Club. Don't hold it against him. I think he's the chairman of Glentoran Football Club now. But his dad ran a mentorship business, and he ran a mentorship business, a consulting business. So he came on board. Carrick Enterprise paid for 30 hours of mentoring.
Okay.
And we sat down and completely restructured the business. So he taught me about budgets.
Yeah.
He taught me about financial planning.
Yeah. He
taught me about, it's not just all about going out and selling.
Yeah.
You need to cut up your debit card and stop being a complete idiot. We restructured, we renegotiated the price of our servers with our data center.
Okay.
We actually moved from one data center to another to get cost savings. And we kind of pulled it back. Where am I here in my wee notes? In 2016, if you look at our company's house, we posted our balance sheet was negative 23 grand, but the year before, remember, it was negative 45.
So you're 20 grand up.
We're 22 grand up.
Yeah.
And then in 2017, our balance sheet in company's house is 22k positive.
That was the first year you're positive then? First year of a profit?
So we pulled it around, yeah.
Profit 2017?
Well, we profit in 2016, but that was still paying off the loss. But yeah. But we were in positive balance sheet in 2017, and it's been positive every year since.
So when was your biggest year of growth?
Biggest year of growth would probably have been 17, 18, 19.
17, 18, 19?
Is that 3 years. That's when stuff's really going. Like we're up to 16 staff.
Right.
At that point. And then we obviously formed Cobalt.
Yeah.
So Carrick Enterprise then came along, and they had got a grant from the lottery to do coastal tourism.
Right.
And they had got money for 30 websites for small businesses, like bed and breakfast, small hotels, guest houses, Airbnbs, that sort of thing. But part of it was to grow jobs locally. Okay. Which is part of their remit. So they had to also use students from the NRC. So they came to us and said, look, do you build websites?
I do now.
And I said, I do now. I do now. And Russell took that on board as a project. And then two of the employees who still work for Cobalt, Dylan and Phil, came on board from Northern Regional College from the web design course there. And they're still working for the company. So as part of that remit, they had to they created jobs, which they did because they're still employed there. Yeah. So it was a really successful program, and it was a grant that Carrick Enterprise had got. So we got the contract to build 30 small business websites for local bed and breakfast, guest houses, Airbnbs, that sort of thing. And off the back of that, once you've got 30 clients, clients bring clients. Absolutely. So like client A was referring client B. So
was this for websites still?
It was for websites, yeah. So from that, Cobalt was born.
Yeah.
And they now have 4 employees.
Right.
So that was kind of so we had 16 staff at the time, and with the web design business was great, but it was also the bane of my life because I'd spent years reaching out to web design agencies. Yeah. Trying to get them to host websites. Yeah. And then they suddenly saw us as the competition.
Oh.
Do you know?
Right. So this was a conflict of interest almost, an internal conflict of interest.
It was, yeah, because like we've got a contract with Women in Business. Yeah. To do some talks.
They're in my office building at the moment.
Oh, are they cool?
Yeah.
Well, we got a contract with Women in Business to go and talk about small business websites. And I was getting paid 35 quid an hour for doing these talks. It was great. Yeah. 70 quid for 2 hours. Yeah. And it was all right. But off that, like there were like maybe 15 business people, business ladies, business women sitting there. A lot of them needed website work done. Right. So Cobalt were getting business from that. And what happened was there was a lady who was a client of one of our Big Wet Fish's biggest clients. Yeah. I won't name obviously, but and I got a phone call to say that she had cancelled her contract with our biggest client and she'd signed a contract with Cobalt. And they basically said, how dare you poach our client? And I said, well, look, we didn't. She approached us, but you did the talk at Women in Business. So at that time I realized, you know what?
This is too much of a headache.
This is a headache. And like we tried to cover it up. So if you look at Cobalt Company's house, I wasn't listed as a director. Yeah. But it was the same address and the phone number is the same as very similar.
And when you're bringing in clients,
it was like there was no sort of Yeah, so I need to do something. So in November 2021, Russell and me agreed a deal that Russell would buy Cobalt.
Okay.
And I agreed to step back completely from Cobalt.
Yeah.
Because it just was a headache and we were going to lose clients over it.
Okay.
So that meant we lost 4 staff, so we're down to 12.
Okay.
But those staff for Cobalt are still employed.
Yeah.
They're just not employed by us.
So, whenever you say you sold it to Russell, did you have was it like a straight up fee, or was it like a plan where, look, whenever you make X, I get X back?
I don't know if I can discuss that, but we did. I don't know if I can divulge what we agreed now.
You don't have to.
Because Russell's local as well, but we did agree. We did agree over a 3-year term.
Okay.
We did agree a 3-year term.
So you can tell, just by even you giving them kind of terms, you can tell you want the rid of this.
Yes.
It was really causing you a headache.
Yes.
And
it wasn't causing me a headache. Cobalt was very successful, as was Big Wet Fish.
Yeah.
Like, Cobalt are great at what they do. Big Wet Fish are great at what we do. But
could you scale? We
couldn't scale. Big Wet Fish could not scale Cobalt if we owned Cobalt.
Okay.
Because our clients, our web design clients, like, we probably have 100 web agencies across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And they were seeing Cobalt as a competition.
Yeah. Would there be competition? I'd be their competition now.
You would be their competition.
Yeah, so I totally understand.
And your Cobalt's competition now,
totally understand that if they are hosting with you, for example, if I was hosting with you and you took one of my clients,
you'd be really annoyed.
And I can understand that. And that was.
But the key thing was, we're very ethical about it.
Yeah.
It's not legal for us to reach out to your clients direct.
Yeah.
We only would take a client if they contacted us.
Right. Okay.
Now, in the web world, if you're a bit tech savvy, you can just do like a reverse DNS search and find out.
See who's hosting it.
See who's hosting it. So we've got a lot of people who just ring us because somebody technical has done a search for them. And like, that's ethical because we're not reaching out to them. And I would always email a client and say, look, Joe Blogs has reached out to us. I just want to let you know that he contacted us.
Yeah.
We didn't contact him.
You're a nice businessman, because a lot of people wouldn't do that, Stephen. They just go, that's no problem.
Do you see if you get a reputation of poaching your clients?
Yeah.
Your clients will soon be gone.
They're not trust you. They're not trust you. Totally agree.
So that was kind of it. So Cobalt was great, and they're still doing really well from what I gather, but I just stepped back now in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And we've our new data center project on the go. So
let's talk about your toughest year. Your toughest year in business. I straight away my mind probably goes to COVID. Was COVID the toughest?
Because we had just spent, so obviously we're in our offices now. We're in the Corsi Centre and we're on the first floor of Unit 6A.
Yeah.
We don't have a sign on the wall, but we're still there. People think we've moved, but we've sublet downstairs.
Yeah, I saw the door.
Yeah, we've sublet downstairs, so people think we've moved, but we haven't. We are still there. I need to get a sign on the wall, but we had just spent. So I'd agreed a 5-year deal to get free rent in the Corsi Centre.
And you fixed the unit and all, didn't you?
But we had to pay the fit out cost. So we paid about £38,000 fit out. So if you divide £38,000 by 60 months, it's about £600 a month, something like that. So our equivalent rent is £600 a month, which is cheap for what we have, really. But we paid the fit out, or we paid half the fit out, and the landlord paid the other half. But we had literally just moved in November, and March we had to walk out.
I know.
And like, you were there.
I was there. I had a desk at the time. You were doing private desks at the time, and my mind just goes there because you had that many staff and you still had them overheads, and you had to really quickly get together. What the heck do we do here?
The thing is, what we do, we have to be very secure. So we cannot let staff use their personal laptops for work stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what they've been doing with their personal laptops.
Yeah, or could
I
be
don't know.
Or
I don't know what viruses they have. Yeah. So I'm running around the week before lockdown trying to buy laptops, but the whole world were trying to buy laptops. Like, I'm driving around every PC World in Northern Ireland trying to buy laptops. I got them. I got enough.
We got there. Happy days.
We got there, and then we obviously headsets and just like getting all that thing going. But you know what? It worked.
Yeah,
it worked, and I would have been very anti work from home.
Right.
Before lockdown, and I'm coming round.
Are you coming round?
I am coming round.
I'm against it for it depends where you are in your business. If you're a massive business and you can cut your overheads, offices and stuff by having some people work from home, makes sense. But if you're trying to grow and scale, you need to go around each other.
But we were stuck, like, we're in that office now for another year and a half. We can't move out because of the contract. But toughest year was probably after lockdown, to be fair.
After lockdown? So whenever,
because obviously we do web servers. And what do web servers run off?
The internet. Or not the internet, power.
Power.
Yeah.
So you know what happened to power costs? Like
it went massively up.
Like we were paying 17 pence a kilowatt hour, and it went up to 40p at one point. So your electricity cost more than doubled, sort of overnight, which meant that like it maybe would have cost 15 quid a month to keep a server online in terms of power only. Went up to maybe 40 quid a month. Which multiply that by 100 servers. You know. So we were struggling, and we actually had to let a couple of staff go. A couple of years ago because of that. Now we're getting a position now where we can start bringing people back.
Okay,
but it was a tough year.
Yeah, so tell me about that. Like, was it causing you a lot of stress? Were you kind of worried about the monthly ins and outs? And
it was just it's a cash flow game.
Yeah,
you're playing the cash flow game. You know yourself are running. It's a cash flow game. You know who am I going to pay today?
Yep.
Who am I going to pay tomorrow? Who's going to leave the next month? You know?
Yeah.
And obviously your servers are paid first. Now, like, there was no danger of the business going under. I need to say that.
Yeah.
But it was a cash flow game because everything was going up. And then you were thinking, how often can we raise prices here? Like our data center in London raised prices 3 times in 2022. In January, July, and December. First time by 8%. Second time by 11%. The third time by 15%.
That's wow. So that's like 34%
because of power. Because of power. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everyone. See, it's kind of obviously calmed down now with the government kind of putting the cap on things, which ends or has ended, hasn't it?
It has ended. Yeah.
It has ended.
There's no caps now. Yeah.
I think during that period, it was ridiculous for everyone because obviously I had locals at the time, and our electric bill went from something like £800 every 3 months to literally $2,500.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And I sat there and went, "Where are you meant to pull an extra, £1,000 out of yours?"
Well, our electric bill last month in the data center was about £3,500 for a month.
Madness, isn't it?
For a month.
It's madness.
But you're selling the servers. It's all good, but. It's that's what it is.
So that was
it was a challenge, but I mean we literally just had to pass on. The problem was it was just so much work.
Yeah.
Because the prices went up in January, so you're raising prices for clients, and then come July they put their prices up again, so you're having to email clients again, and then December 2022 you're emailing clients again, and in the meantime, like all of our other suppliers were putting their prices up, and it's just like it was every month something was going up. But we just kept passing it on.
Yeah.
We had to. And most clients accepted that. Now you get the odd client will go and leave.
Yeah.
But most clients accepted that. And like
you could see it. You could just see everything was going up.
And we're not giving stuff free as much. So like we have a product called Spam Experts, which is a third-party product that we pay for. We used to give that free with your email.
We've had to lean down and you can't do it anymore.
Probably next from the 1st of June, we're going to start charging for it.
Okay.
Now, we're going to start charging probably 50 pence per account per month.
Okay.
Just to help cover costs.
Yeah.
But it's still an extra cost for some clients, but we just have to. We just can't. You just can't like you wouldn't walk into Locos and say, give me a burrito for free.
Yeah.
Or give me an extra topping for free. Or, so I think people need to understand and people need to get educated, but it is all right. You know?
I feel like, just seeing other business people out there that you want to be fair with your customers, but at the same time you have to think, look, I'm a business, I need to make a profit, because this is a misconception I think a lot of people have with business. They think profit and they think greed, but you need profit to grow a business, to give it, to get a better office, to give jobs, to expand, etc., etc. That's what profit does. Without profit, you can't do any of them things. Whereas some people just think, oh yeah, he's just going to get a new house in the hills. That's just not how it works.
Trust me, I'm not.
It's just not how it works.
I'm not. I'm in the same flat I was living in 10 years ago, and it's grand. But do you know what? I mean, our big next project is our data center.
What's it called again? Have you got a name for it?
No, we don't have a name for it.
It's just under.
Well, we partner with another company called Husky Networks who do rural broadband and stuff. But we partner with those guys. But so at the minute we currently rent all of our servers from a company in London called IOMart.
Okay.
They're a decent provider. They're okay. They put their prices up 3 times in the past year, and if you look at their Trustpilot reviews, they're sinking. They're sinking, yeah. And if you look at their share price as well, it's halved in the past 18 months. So we don't get good vibes from them.
Okay.
So we thought, what are we going to do? Our contract's up in November 2023. So we're paying them at the minute, goodness, we're paying them in excess of 10 grand a month to rent servers. So like we have built our data center. It's been there now for a year and a half. It's been working brilliantly. We've got about 80 servers there now.
Right.
And by December, we'll have doubled our capacity there because everything will move from London to there. And that's going to be our big thing.
Okay.
Because we own the hardware.
Yeah.
So it sits on our balance sheet.
Okay.
We can charge slightly less to clients. We can reduce some of the price ranges.
Your previous provider obviously need to profit, but that doesn't need to happen anymore if you cut out the middleman.
Yeah, you're cutting out the middleman effectively. Yeah, we're cutting out the middleman, and we're working with Alan down in the data center there. So that's our big project at the minute. So we're currently moving a lot of clients to our new infrastructure there, which is
bring your data home.
You've heard that, you've seen that. Bring your data home. You've seen
your data home.
Bring your data home. Well, it's bringing home to Northern Ireland. It's creating technical jobs in Northern Ireland. I mean, we're talking about apprenticeships in the data center. We're talking about data center engineers. We're talking about people who can do the more technical stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like build the servers, you know, if something happens with them, fix them, that sort of thing, you know, and we're training staff to do that. So it is our big thing. You know, we're no longer just renting from a middleman. We're actually doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're doing it pretty well, you know.
So going back to you talking,
but it's a money pit. It's a money pit. If anyone was 100 grand, they want to loan me.
Well, there you go, investment opportunity right here.
Just come and talk to me, you know.
So going back to the year that you had to let a couple of people go.
Yeah, hardest thing I've ever done.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. You know, how did you handle that situation and
well, here's what I did. If I was doing it again, I sometimes rule my heart and not my head, and that's just my nature. I should have done it 6 months before I did it.
Okay.
Because we needed to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I'm going to put 3 people here
out of a job.
You know, and granted they'd only been with us about a year. But I could not have predicted that the power costs were going to more than double.
Nobody could.
You know, so yeah, it was the hardest thing I've done. If it was turn back time, I would have done it 6 months earlier. Mm. But again, I was just being...
How did you actually do it? Like...
Well,
one, what was the process of you bringing these people in? And two, how did you decide? Was it a game of who was there the longest? How did you... Because there is people who will be doing this.
We did a last in, first out.
Ah, okay. So it was a loyalty
thing?
Just
to keep it fair.
Okay.
And it was just to keep it... We did last in, first out. Otherwise... I don't know, you commit. Like, how do you choose someone? You know, you need to look at performance and you need to look at, and how do you weigh that up? And it's just, and then if somebody decides to take it to tribunal, why did you choose me over them? And so I was just advised, it's the
easiest way
and less risky way of you not ending up at a tribunal because you've chosen somebody X over Y kind of thing. So basically everyone there's a procedure, like it's on the, it's not called ACAS here. What's it called? It's something else. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was on the equivalent of the ACAS website in Northern Ireland. We just got the templates for the letters and just wrote letters. I got a bit of advice from someone as well. Someone who'd done this before took me through the process. So people got a letter saying there's risk of redundancies if anybody wants to voluntarily, you know,
put themselves forward. Basically, you were giving them a heads up. Look, people need to start looking for jobs.
Basically, yeah, kind of thing.
Which was the right thing to do.
And then on the day we did it, we just brought people in and just spoke to them and gave them a letter and said, "Look, sorry."
Yeah. Did you explain, look, this is just how it is. We'd love to keep you.
Yeah. Oh, and people, they understood. They actually took it really well, weirdly.
Yeah.
One of the guys I know is now working for civil service, which is great.
Awesome.
Another guy I know he's working somewhere else because I was speaking to him, or Mark was speaking to him. And then Craig was back working for us on a temporary contract.
Okay.
Again, so he's back.
So you were able to bring him back, which is good.
Yes, he's just back temporary. We didn't bring him in permanent yet, just until we were sure we had the
capacity.
He's been back now for a while. So yeah, so we're climbing out of it. You know, we are climbing out of it.
Do you feel like the government at the minute is supporting small businesses enough?
Well, what are the government supposed to do? The government has no money.
Yeah, but I mean, the government has no money. But I mean, who decides where the money goes? Like the general public is highly taxed. Like you're taxed in your car, you're taxed in your income, you're taxed on having a home, you're taxed in everything.
Yeah.
So where are all these taxes going?
I'm not going to get into politics, but I don't know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying.
Do the government supposed to? No, I don't think they could do more. But I don't know what they're supposed to do because, like, how much is the UK government borrowing? And it's adding to the national debt, and that's to be paid back by somebody. Like your daughter will be paying that back in 50 years' time when she's earning, or I just don't know. I don't know. Like we did okay. I think maybe the whole COVID support, maybe they were a bit too generous, maybe. I don't think it was targeted enough.
Yeah, people were abusing it. Just having staff working, but
without getting political, I do think there's a lot of wastage.
Yeah,
in grants and stuff. Like my mum has a very good pension, and I said to her, she got was it a £300 heating allowance? I said, Mum,
you don't need that.
If you didn't get this £300, how would it affect your life?
Yeah,
she said it wouldn't. How many other people out there are getting that £300 who don't need it, but yet there are hundreds of people who probably need it.
Means tested.
That's the problem. I think that's half the problem. I think a lot of money from the government is wasted.
Yeah.
I think the furlough scheme was open to lots of abuse. The bounce back loan scheme.
Everyone got one.
Like amount of new cars driving around, you know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know would I be any better. I just always wonder, should I run to be a politician? But
you probably should, to be honest.
But I don't know. But do the government support us? I don't know what the government are supposed to do. It's.
Well, I mean, right. I'm just talking about small business because small business is the backbone for a lot of people to bring other people up. But small business, you middle management, small business, and what I see at the minute is just from having logos. Now, obviously, I'm in branding and advertising, marketing, and web design at the minute, which is a lot easier. I feel like because your margins are better and you have more understanding your ins and outs. When running for example, food, you're around about a 5% to 10% profit. But you've big revenue, so it's a good profit at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But whenever your electric absolutely skyrockets and your gas skyrockets, there's only so much money someone will pay. For example, in my case, for a burrito.
Yeah.
So what do you do in that case? You just let all these businesses die. Is that the right thing to do? There's businesses in Belfast at the minute that's been running for 25, 30 years.
I've seen that, yeah.
Like, what do we do about that? Because I feel like if I was able to say where my tax should go, it should go towards small business instead of maybe some of the shady projects that you see around every city and town in the entire place. Because this will be what provides jobs, and I mean, you want healthy competition. You don't want to just have McDonald's and KFC.
We've done okay from the government. Like we got an employment grant from Invest NI for some of our staff. We've got Carrick Enterprise helped us out.
Yeah,
I just don't think there's probably as much help as there used to be.
That's what I'm saying. Like even you saying about the grants, I've never the entire time in my journey, I have not seen one grant. I have not seen one grant. Now I knew there's one person, not going to name his name, but there's one person that during the web design grants, they're running web design grants, he used to ring everyone and say, do you know that you can get a grant for your business? And he would put them through the process.
There were big grants during COVID for e-commerce sites.
Yeah.
You could get 50% of your website cost.
No, this one was 100%.
Yeah, but there were people that I know who were potentially writing wrong invoices to try to get more money, and
that's what I'm saying.
It's a lot of dodgy stuff going on. But although it's I don't know, I just don't know where the money comes from.
I just want to see a more prosperous environment for everyone, because I hate to see people struggle, and I would just love people to live, because we have a world of abundance. We really, really do. And healthy competition, mom and pop shops, bakeries, these are all staples of the nation, have been for a long time. I just don't want to see gas, electric, rates, for example, which you'll be paying right now.
Yeah.
Like, things are just becoming ridiculous, even for small business owners. Like, some people look at someone, for example, whenever I had logos, and they'll think, oh, you're making so much money and this and that, but they don't see how high these bills are.
Our rates for we are is about $4,000 a year.
That's not bad.
Now, we've actually sublet downstairs to a charity.
Okay.
So our
dropping down?
Yeah, because their rates exempt.
Okay.
So we just pay rates for our bit upstairs now.
Okay.
And I think we pay half rates for the toilet because it's shared, and we pay half rates for the kitchen.
But see, that's business smarts.
Because it's shared. But the two, if you haven't been in our office in a while, but the two private offices upstairs.
Yes.
The charity uses those for storage.
Oh, okay.
So their rate's exempt as well. And I've actually moved out to the main office now. I'm actually working from the main office.
Right. Open plan now,
Open plan, because it's saved another, like, I don't know, like 400 quid a year just by doing that.
Yeah. See what you're saying there about these things that you're being more cost effective.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do in business. You got to be agile.
You got to try to be
know
smart.
When to grow and know when to shrink.
Yeah.
Because like look at Microsoft and all these other big corporations, they're dropping jobs like there's no tomorrow.
Like we will probably not be in the same office in October 2024 when our contract's up.
Serious?
Yeah, we don't need it. We don't need that size
too much
of office. Like we've got our data center now in a different facility. We already have an office there.
Yeah.
Beside the data center, there's a system admin's office with 3 desks, and we have Ben working from home. Carl works in the data center. So like, there's probably only 4 or 5 staff now in the office, and you know the size of that office.
Yeah.
It's not.
No need.
We don't need it now. Obviously, hindsight's great. If I could have predicted COVID, would I have rented that office?
COVID changed the world, mate.
You know,
COVID really changed the world.
So to be honest, we'll probably be out of there. But I don't know where we're going to get. It depends what the rent is. This is a thing. So we're on free rent at the minute.
Yeah.
But once that contract ends, they're going to charge us rent. And I can't get the guy to give me an answer on what he's going to charge me. So the Coaching Centre used to be owned by a local family.
Yeah.
Great people.
Oh, did it get bought?
It was bought over by a company from Kesh in County Fermanagh, a developer.
Okay.
And he's more hands off. And there's a management agent now who does all the work. Okay. Whereas before it was a local family who live in Carrick.
Yeah.
Or Carrick Direction and own other businesses in the town.
Yeah, John DeCourcy, wasn't it?
It was John Morgan.
John Morgan. Yeah,
but
sorry. John DeCourcy started it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Something like that,
so you could have just you could have just rung him up. But I'm trying to get an answer on what the rent will be next year, but they won't give me the answer. So
because they don't want to hit you with it yet, because they know you'll be going, right, I'm looking elsewhere. See you
later. That's the issue, but I don't know where else there is. Like there's, you could
always rent desks.
Yeah.
You could get somewhere in the charge of, like that place I'm in Belfast there, the Glandor. They charge by the desk, but it's beautiful.
I think we want to stay in the town though.
You want to stay in Carrick?
I think we want to stay in Carrick. Yeah, like most of our staff
probably
are
going
from
to Carrick Enterprise.
Most of our staff are from there. Carrick Enterprise, I think, is full.
Is it?
I think it's been full. It's been full for a while.
Yeah, they have good rates.
And Kilroot's full as well. From what I heard, I heard Kilroot was bought over.
Wow.
And Kilroot are nearly at capacity, from what I've heard as well, which you wouldn't think.
That's a massive place too.
Yeah. So there's not much out there, but you know what? You never know. It's 18
knowing
months.
you, Skin, you're pretty agile with your thinking, so you'll find something.
We'll find somewhere. We'll find somewhere.
Absolutely. So let's just go into a bit of advice for people maybe starting their entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
So you went from, was it 2009 you said you started selling?
Yes.
So from 2009 to now, what advice could you give someone who's wanting to start their own business?
Take advice from day one. Right, I was like Jack the Lad running around thinking I've got a work debit card. I've got income coming in every day because clients pay us every day. Like our invoice, if you order your web hosting on the 3rd of the month, it'll bill on the 3rd of the month. If somebody else orders them on the 6th of the month, it'll bill on the 6th of every month. So we have people paying invoices every day. So we always have revenue coming in. But I was not focused on budgets. I was not focused on cash flow. So what I have now is I have got a 6-month cash flow projection. I have got a year's budget. And every month I look at that budget and I look to see where am I. So for example, we've got server costs, domain name costs, electricity, mobile phone, internet, everything's listed out. And I have a budget for, say, the month of May. And then the 1st or 2nd of June, I will get our accounts put into zero and we will look at the actual cost, and I will add a second column to the spreadsheet. And I will look, right, am I over budget, under budget? If I'm over budget, it'll be red. If I'm under budget, it'll be green kind of thing. If I'm on budget, it'll be green. And I just focus on figures. Now, that takes a lot of time, but it was the mentoring from Carrick Enterprise taught me that. So, don't be afraid to seek advice. Come talk to me. I'm kind of approachable. Just come and knock a door.
Yeah.
You won't be able to find us because there's no sign on the door, but come and knock a door and have a chat. I mean, I'm not a business mentor. I probably don't have time to mentor anybody, but I'll have a coffee with anybody and have a chat, I still get advice. Like whenever we were having the problem with the power costs, like there was a guy, George from Woodlands Church here in Carrick.
Yeah.
He sold a business recently. He used to sell like windows and stuff. And I had a couple of meetings with him looking at budgets. Get a good accountant as well. Somebody you can approach, somebody you can talk to. My first accountant was based in England and it was a shambles.
Yeah.
They didn't care. So get somebody local. Get somebody that you can knock on their door, you can go out and have a coffee with and have a chat to. And don't be afraid to ask for help,
Yeah.
And you'll know pretty quickly if things aren't working. Like, I really wish back in 2013, 14, that I had known that I was spending too much money and that we're going to make a 25k loss in that first year.
Yeah.
Because I had that redundancy money in the bank.
Yeah.
I think I got about 30 grand redundancy, I think.
Okay.
And I wasted it because we made a loss.
Yeah. So, that's good advice, giving someone an understanding that to look at your numbers, make sure you check your numbers, check your numbers again. But someone who's just starting out, how do they actually build their business? What kind of sales and growth advice can you give them based off of your experience?
Web hosting is saturated market.
Yeah.
Like, there's two a penny.
Yeah.
Right? We are not the cheapest.
Yeah.
We do not give unlimited disk space, unlimited bandwidth. We don't charge 20 quid a month for 100 websites or whatever. We charge what we think are fair rates that we make a profit on, but we focus on support.
Okay.
And our unique selling point is you can come and knock on our door. You can come and live chat and we'll answer it within 12 seconds. So, like, be customer focused.
Be customer focused.
That is the way to do it. Like, laser sharp, customer focused. Don't let anything go. Like, if somebody says their website's slow, deal with it. Like, there was a ticket I was dealing with actually yesterday. A guy put a ticket in a week ago, and he must be a late. He's from here, or from UK, but he puts his tickets in at 3 a.m.
Okay.
And he's got Indianized for the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we hadn't picked it up. And eventually I saw this ticket yesterday. This guy said, I want to cancel. He said, you haven't taken this seriously. So laser focus on customer service. I turned it around. I emailed the guy today and said, look, I'm really, really sorry. We have a brand new server we deployed yesterday. Even though you're a light plan, we'd like to move you to a business server free of cost. And we'll get your website sped up. And Tony today spent a bit of time optimizing it.
Yeah.
And the guy came back to say he was happy.
Brilliant.
With what he'd done. So be customer focused, because in a world where you've got GoDaddy with $1 billion marketing budget, and you've got all the other companies that GoDaddy own that they don't pretend they own, like 123Reg is owned by GoDaddy, Hard Internet is owned by GoDaddy, all of these big names. But yet if you look at the Twitter feed, a lot of people say their support is crap.
Yep.
So be customer focused. That's what I would say. Give clients what they want. Be agile, be adaptive. Like, adapt to what clients need, what clients want. You don't necessarily need to be the cheapest. We're not the cheapest. Like, we could probably get hundreds more clients if we matched some prices you can find just by doing a quick Google search for web hosting. But we don't do that.
Yeah.
We keep our client base smallish.
Yeah.
But we're doing okay, and then eventually it'll grow. We get bigger clients, and it kind of snowballs.
Yeah.
And it's word of mouth. The other thing we did as well was we don't, I know you're big into marketing and stuff and big into Facebook, but we have an affiliate scheme.
Okay.
Where we pay people to refer clients to us.
Yeah.
And that's where most of our clients will come from.
Right. Okay.
People will refer clients to us and we give them 15% recurring commission in cash.
Yeah.
And we have a system manages all of that. So we're not paying for large adverts.
Yeah.
People are referring other people to us. So that kind of thing worked. But what advice would I give? What advice would you give?
Well, the advice
I can't. When my mind's gone blank, I'm going to turn it around here.
Well, I mean, from what I'm picking up off you is being customer focused.
Yeah.
Once you get kind of your first client, just exactly as yourself. Once you get that first client, really, really look after them. Make sure they're super, super happy. Maybe even go above and beyond at the start. Like, give more than what you're actually charging for at the start. Really build a good customer rapport, and then from there, your business naturally will grow because people buy people, and I think with Big Wet Fish, you must be the main salesman in the place, are you?
Yeah, I would say be personable as well.
Yeah.
I did a thing you've probably seen on Facebook or LinkedIn's coffee with your web host.
Yes, I have seen it.
Like, I will drive the length and breadth of England, Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland to have coffee with people. And we went to see this guy in Cheltenham, client for years, lovely guy.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't believe you're actually sitting here having lunch with us. I said, well, we really appreciate your business. And he's maybe worth about 80 quid a month. So, I maybe saw 10 clients on that trip.
Yeah.
And I maybe spent 40 quid buying the guy lunch. But he's giving me 80 quid a month. And he's going to remember that.
Oh, he'll 100%. He'll be loyal.
Like GoDaddy aren't going to come and take him out for lunch.
Oh, they'll probably send them a voucher saying, take us for lunch.
You know, and I've been to like, I've been to Carnoustie Golf Club meeting a guy. I've been to from John O'Groats to Land's End meeting clients, you know, and I do that. So, and it works really, really well, you know. Right. And I always give clients that I meet a wee discount as well if they ask for it and stuff. So it just kind of, it just helps build that rapport. And then they know whenever, and I usually bring somebody with me. So if they come on live chat, and let's say, I don't know, Mark has been with me on a trip and a client comes on.
Yeah.
Well, the staff in the office will know that Mark went to see him. So Mark will grab the live chat. Okay, Mark, how you doing? Are you keeping well? You know, what about yourself? How's the daughter keeping or whatever? You know, because there's a bit more personal touch. So like be personable as well.
100%. So I think there's loads we could probably still talk about, but our time is up.
I'll come back.
100%.
I've enjoyed it.
I would love to have you. I feel like
no worries.
A lot of people is going to get a lot of knowledge from this, and kind of your journey's very I think it's very hustler. The fact that you're in a normal job, the light bulb moment, and then you started going, I'm gonna make this work, and you're on eBay selling servers.
Do you know what's really cool? No 2 days are the same. Like no 2 days are the same.
Yeah.
Like I walk in tomorrow morning, I don't know what's going to happen. Is a server going to die? Is our biggest client going to have a DDoS attack?
Yeah.
I hope they don't. You know, am I going to get a sales lead? Is somebody going to put a cancellation request in and I have to try to save the sale?
Yeah.
You just don't know. It's like, no, it's great.
Love it.
No two is the same, and I love it. You know, I do love it.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, Stephen.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.